Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're doing a monthly roundup of my favorites and flops, including a really exciting spoiler for the November Boxycharm base box, a really exciting spoiler for the December BOXYLUXE. Like, we're going to talk some spoilers, we're going to do some faves, and I'm not even going to waste your time with the rest of a huge intro. Let's just jump into it. Alright, so I'm going to start with the two spoilers. I did do a dedicated video on this one already. It is the Natasha Denona Peak Palette. This is coming to the base Boxycharm box in November. I did actually talk to Joe, and he said that it is a vast majority of base subscribers. I know I did get a lot of comments with people asking if it was a variation. Yes, it's a variation, but it's like most people are going to get it, and then the people who don't want eyeshadow for the most part are not. So super excited. I love the warm tones. I love the Natasha Denona formula. I will link up above the whole video, so if you did want to check out a look with it, you can see that there. Another product that we got teased about coming is from Volition. I actually did use this product back when I worked at Sephora, and it is so good. It is the Snow Mushroom Serum. It is also going to be a November base box variation, but from what I understand, it's not going to really be against this palette, so you don't have to worry about getting the palette or this. Typically, they'll do skincare against skincare, and then the palette against something else makeup related. Now, the formula is amazing, and I have used it before. It does hold a lot of hydration, so if your skin is drier, especially this time of year, you will really love the serum. And then Joe actually went onto the Facebook forums yesterday and did also release, well, yesterday from when I'm posting this, not yesterday from when I'm filming this, and the December BOXYLUXE is all going to get the Good Genes from Sunday Riley. It is a product that I'm very familiar with. I will be honest, I don't personally love the product. My skin is more oily, combo oily, so for me, I find I prefer, if I'm going to use something similar, I like the lactic acid serum from Olga Lorenzen. I almost said Ulla Henriksen. Those are different brands. I prefer this serum for the like exfoliating hydration-y serum. So I don't love the Good Genes. I do love the A+ though. Sunday Riley makes some amazing products, a lot of which we've already received in Boxycharm. So if you are a Luxe subscriber, you will be getting Good Genes. All right, now jumping into my favorites and flops. The next favorite, in addition to the palette, because this is a favorite, I love it. I got it last week, and I'm already obsessed. This is actually a little unorthodox because it's a product I've only used once, and it was today when I did my makeup, and it is the British Museum X ZC Ankh palette. This green on my lids right there is literally everything. The packaging is nice and steady and heavy, and I love this. I don't even know where you can buy this. I think it's available on Amazon. I will try to remember to link it down below. They do have two palettes. Let me know if you guys want to see me do a tutorial with the other one. I'm probably going to, just because the formula is amazing. This one's a little more neutral grungy, whereas this one, I mean, I ended up going neutral grungy anyway, but like, tell me these aren't beautiful. So I love the way this one performed, which now I am even more excited to try out the one I didn't use, because I think it really it performed beautifully. Another unconventional thing that I've only used once, it is the Clarins Instant Smooth Perfect Touch. I used it under my base today, and I used the same thing I always use, and I think my skin looks even better than it normally does. Now, I love complexion products, and I'm actually really confident in complexion. I'm not going to lie. Like, I know I can slay foundation, and I go lightweight, and I really like it, and I think my skin looks even more airbrushed today than it normally does, which for me is a huge deal. So this is the only thing I did differently, and I love the way everything looks. Next, for the lip product, this actually came out of this month's Ipsy. This is the Haus Labs Lip Riot Lip Gloss in the shade Chaser. It is like this brownie brick shade, and I love the way it looks on my lips, especially paired with this kind of fall vibe on the eyes. I can see myself wearing this all through the winter because of how like perfect this color is with oranges and greens and terracottas and all of the things I wear up and through the new year. Next, I have not used anything since I got this for my cheeks. It is the Nesting Bitch Face from Pretty Vulgar, which came in this month's Boxycharm. You can already tell that these bronzers specifically are getting some love, I love the way this looks on the skin. I'm using it for bronzers and blush today. I did use something different for highlight, and honestly, I kind of missed this. So, such a great cheek palette with a bunch of shades. I think that it's nice and versatile. If you're lighter, you can use the lighter shade. If you're darker, you can use the darker. I actually missed the two because I'm kind of a medium. I know on camera I always look super pale, but I'm actually more of a light to medium, if that makes sense. So absolutely love this palette. You will be seeing a lot more with it. I'm going to save my last two favorites for after because I don't like ending on a bad note. So I'm going to jump into my flops for now. First is from Fenty Beauty, and I know it's weird because I typically love everything Fenty. But this is the Brow MVP. It was too red. This is the shade light brown, which is typically the shade I would wear, like a light medium brown. Too red. I didn't love the brush applicator. Like, I thought it was super awkward. I think you can use it to get a nice fluffy brow, but I'm going to stick to a brow gel and a spoolie for me. It just works so much better. Coming out of the base Boxycharm box were the Ace Beauty liners. I gave them an okay review when I used them. I said they feathered a little bit, but I liked them, and that is still true. However, when I went to use them a second time, I felt them super runny, and throughout wearing them a little bit longer, because unfortunately with my Boxycharm reviews, I do it, I show you guys how it looks, and I tell you if it worked for me or not. But I actually have now worn it 2 or 3 additional times, and every time I wear it, I notice that the lips will start to feather or bleed a little bit. On a lip liner, I want something that's a little bit more matte, that's not going to move around and is not going to budge. This is a little more creamy. So if you use it as like a lip color all over the lip, I think you'll like it a little bit more. But for me, as a lip liner, it didn't exactly work. And the last product is actually going to be one that received a lot of bad reviews this month. It is the Isabella Vadoya Illuminati palette. I actually really enjoyed using this on camera when I used it, but I only used 2 shades. I used this one right here, I used this one right here, and I used that on the lid, and it worked out really well. I was told by a couple of my friends who got this palette that they absolutely did not like it because the colors blended away to nothing. That was not my experience, but when I went back in to swatch and play with some of these pastel shades, they're not supposed to be pastel, they're supposed to be brights. And they basically blended away into powdery nothingness. And I'm just going to blend on my hand and nothing. So I can see where that's coming from, and I don't like inconsistencies in a palette, especially when I try a few shades and I have a good experience, and then I go back and I hear, well, you used the only good shades in the palette, which is exactly what happened. So when I went back and tried some of the other ones, I was very disappointed with it. So I'm probably going to go through, if I'm being completely honest, depot the shades that worked for me, get rid of the rest of the palette and use it, because I do like to have, from time to time, single shadows around if it's a color I really like or a formula I do like. But if it's in a palette with a bunch of other stuff, I do tend to sift through and get rid of the trash. And the last item I did want to mention, because I did do a sponsored video this month with FAVES Girl for magnetic lashes, which I am wearing today. I did want to mention this here because my favorites videos are not sponsored ever. If I'm talking about a product here, you know I love it. I didn't get any feedback in that video that people thought I was lying, and I think that that's great that you guys do trust me. So I did want to mention that I am still loving it. They are not paying for this video. They're not writing me a check for this. This is my opinion. I was sponsored in that video, but everything I said was still true. I got 10 lashes. I'm wearing the bottom style again, which you guys know were the ones in that video that I liked the most. They wear really well. They are super easy to remove. I was going to pull that off, but I don't want to. They're super easy to remove and put back on because, again, they are magnetic, and this is the second pair I put on today. I put on a different pair. It was a little bit less dramatic than I wanted, so I just quickly swapped it out. And that's what I love about magnetic lashes, is that I can really easily just decide I want to wear a different pair and switch them. No glue, no nothing. So I will say, now that I've used it a few more times than that, because I had used it pretty frequently before I did that video, I have learned how to get that liner to work better. I did mention in that video that I use a small lash brush with the liner to get it a little bit smoother. I now use it right out of the tube. I just, when I pull it out, wipe it and go. I do have to dunk in 2 or 3 more times because it does dry pretty quickly, but I don't mind that because I would rather that over getting a giant clump of liner on my eyes. So the next item is a little weird, but just trust me on it. I was reached out to by a brand called Hunk Up, and they have a body trimmer, and it is honestly a full-size like hair clipper with attachments and everything. This is not sponsored. However, Brandon and I, when quarantine hit, started doing our own hair and getting our own haircuts at home, and we were using this tiny little clipper. So when they said, yeah, we want to send you one, I saw it and I'm like, I know this is marketed and advertised for body, but I'm gonna get it for hair. And this has made at-home haircuts so much easier because it's so much bigger than the tiny one we were using. It does have the like gradients, you can get closer or further away, and then it has the tips, so you can actually get, like, this is already like 3 days old, and it's already growing out, but I can get super close with it, no nicks, no cuts. It is waterproof, so if you did want to use it in like legs or body hair, or it is designed for men, so in the intimate regions. I will link it down below if you are interested for hair care or for the men in your life who might need a little bit of a trimmer. But for me, I will be completely honest, I use it on my head, but you can use it anywhere. And the last item, this was also sent to me, but again, not sponsored. You guys have asked me what I use in front of me, and I'm going to be doing a whole studio tour. But this is from Easehold. It is a trifold mirror that rotates. You can turn it on, you can dim, you can brighten, you can change the tone of the light for indoor, outdoor, etc. I know my lights are kind of washing it out, so you're not really getting a great view of it, but I'll link this down below as well, because I believe it's like $45, which is super affordable. What I like about this is before I had a mirror that didn't have the closey flaps, and I used to get powder all over it, especially because I don't always use this when I'm doing my makeup, and when I do, if it's open, it gets covered in powder. So I'm able to like close it, powder quickly, and then reopen it so that I don't get stuff anywhere. For me, because again, I do film, the best part about this is that it has an auto off feature. So when I turn it on, I think it's like 20 minutes, it will automatically shut itself off. So for people like me who will turn off all my lights, get up and go, and forget that that's still on, it'll shut itself off. It also charges by USB, which I just basically have it plugged in all times. You don't have to, but that's how I like to use it. And the last favorite for the month, I did just do a whole dedicated video on a current skincare routine, and all of the products I mentioned in that video are a favorite because I've been now 5 to 6 weeks or so using that same routine. You guys know I change my skincare up all the time, but I am obsessed with that combination. It is a mix of Spa Sciences, Fresh, and Olga Lorenzen, so you can check out that video. Oh, and I didn't even hold it up, Clean Skin Club. So I will link that video and you can check out all of those products, because also definitely a favorite of mine. I do say this a lot whenever I talk about skincare, but your makeup can only look so good if you're not putting your time and energy into the skin underneath. So yeah, that is enough preaching from me. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try to answer them. But more importantly, let me know your recommendations on what you're loving, because that's how I decide what I'm trying for the following month. So leave your suggestions down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.